Here we are just entering Nova Scotia, and Uncle Phil here is attempting to make us some lunch, soup and sandwich. We're on the highway just inside Nova Scotia. There's some people over here fishing. I just took a walk down there, and the little fella, young fella there, caught one about 7 inches long, little trout. And the mother, I guess it was, said that was his supper. So imagine this must be how the economy is in this part of the world. I can't see real too good because it's like, we'll move in here.
We're going to have vegetable soup.
Hey?
We're going to have veg soup.
There we go, and having vegetable soup. This is for the record. We have arrived at Irene and John's. And, So, Ben, here this is your Aunt Irene. You probably remember her. And there is your Uncle John. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 more going on. You're into a light now.
Can a band saw? No.
No, I haven't got nothing to work with, Phil. Anytime I want to cut out something, I got to take it up to Kemple when I go up and visit Wally and Una. And here's your Uncle Pete on a Sunday morning. You can edit some of this stuff out later, but until I get to work this thing, I got to find the focus button here. Okay, here is your Aunt Teresa.
Oh, wow.
Isn't she pretty? I'll just have to go to church and all that good stuff. We'll get more pictures during the week, but this one here was it. I thought I'd better get it while she was all dolled up. This is just to prove that I was here. There's a sign. I don't know if you can read that or not. Maybe it's my eyeballs. I'll get a little closer. This might be better, huh? Here's one of Uncle Pete by himself.
Cocktail, all you have to do is push. Recording?
Yeah.
Okay, you shut it off then.
This is Peter and his wife Evelyn.
Hi.
And there's Phil taking a picture of us. This would be your grandmother.
Yeah. But what was he doing now?
Long red light's running. It's running.
I don't hear it running.
Yeah, it's running. Red light is on.
Yeah. Okay.
That's enough.
You can go off.
Yeah, hit it again. Hit the switch again.
Yeah.
Maybe you could say sex, you're not that old.
Excuse me, but this camera records all the voices.
That's right. Okay, here we have your grandmother. On the left is your Aunt Catherine, Aunt Irene in the middle, and Aunt Teresa on the right. Now, this is Aunt Mary Rose.
That's for Benny. Hey, come on, Phil, get in here.
I am in here.
Smile, you're on candid camera.
Hi, Benny.
And there's your Uncle Diaz
Can find all
trying to get some food in his face.
Let's go to Clarence.
He doesn't look like you remember.
Yeah?
I'm sure.
We don't need that. You eat yourself, okay? Eat yourself.
Smile a bit.
Smile, you're on candid camera.
Does he do one of these? Yes.
Here.
Come on, let's.
That one there is already charged.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we got Zoom. There's our Sam's house. And there's gone. We are now at the Weymouth Cemetery. We're looking at Grandpa's LeBlanc's headstone. And the writing has been weather beaten, so we've recruited some help with John to repaint the letters on Grandpa and this Grandpa LeBlanc's headstone. Underneath that is his wife Irene, which is our grandmother, your great-grandmother. And underneath that is Philip, who's still alive, but his name is on the headstone. He'll be buried there when he dies. On the back side of this headstone is Uncle Nelson and Uncle Gustav and Uncle Richard. Okay, here we are at Fred LeBlanc headstone, which is your grandfather, which he died in 1970. And under him is Lorette LeBlanc, which you saw on the tape earlier, but she's still alive. Not doing too well, but she'll be buried on top of him when the time comes. And just below that is John Willie. It was my brother, and he died in 1945. He was born, died at birth. Okay, here's the headstone of Grampy LeBlanc and Grandma and Philip, who is still with us at the moment. And we're going to get the backside painted with Richard, and done. We'll get a picture of that in a moment. Okay, here's the backside of Grandpa's headstone, which is has Joseph Nelson. He apparently was an epileptic. He never went to school or anything like that. What little bit of knowledge teaching he did have was taught by his mother's. After she had passed on, her sisters or something taught Nelson some education, but he never really got much formal education. And Gustav, he was during the war, and he died apparently in his sleep or something. Private Richard LeBlanc, which is Bing we used to call him, he passed on here in 1984. This is the house of Maurice. Apparently, it's still standing. And as a matter of fact, there is a LeBlanc living there yet. His name is Gustav, and we can't really trace it to the family tree. Same house, side view. Again, same house. Notice, well in foreground with the hand crank. This is barn from same house. Actually looking pretty good shape. Okay, this is the back side of Maurice house, and just to show you or get an idea of how far away Luke's was, here we go. Right there. It's like in his backyard, about 150 meters back. This is where Luke lived. I'll get around and get a better picture of the other side. This is like coming in from the back, but this seems to be the only driveway he has. This is the front of the house, and I noticed here as I was walking over here, it still has the original plumbing. There is the sewer at my feet. Here is backside of same house. This is a photo of the old homestead taken from the air, and this picture was taken in 1954. As you can see, the barn and the woodshed has disappeared now.
September, she said, yeah.
This is Luke headstone.
Luke and Uncle Leo.
And Uncle Leo.
Well,
It wouldn't be my uncle, I guess.
no, a great uncle.
A great uncle to us. Okay, and he's in the same graveyard as Amedi, who is over there in that corner, right there by that telephone pole. Just up to the left of that pole a bit is where Amedi was, the previous one we had. And here's this one here is Luke. And Morris is supposed to be around here too. Now this is not a very good sign. That means I got 2 years to go. Here is the sign to Anse de LeBlanc. That means LeBlanc Cove. Right there. That's just down from St. Bernard Church. And here we are. We are going to LeBlanc Cove. where it all started. In this part of Nova Scotia, this is where it all happened.
There you are, LeBlanc Cove.
There it is. So there's the new St. Bernard Church, and we are standing at LeBlanc Cove. And from there, you can see here is an old fish factory or something that used to be here at one time. And there is the cove itself. So somewhere in this area is where they landed. I think it was Charles or something that landed. This is a plaque set up here at the first Acadian cemetery. And if you remember correctly, I think Phil was talking about Pierre LeBlanc. He's buried here. I'll take a picture of his cross in a minute. Okay, there's the cemetery. I'm standing at the stone where this plaque is mounted. It's the cemetery. It's only a small one. There's John and Phil over there, and all the... I think it's only about 9 or 12 graves here. Here's the cross of this Pierre LeBlanc, and someone has recently fixed that cross. They've planed it down, put new pins in, and painted the letters. He's the son of Charles. We're down at Uncle Camille's mill, and this is the planer here. He's going to open the mill up in a few minutes and run some timber through. And we'll get some pictures of that, but this is like the end product when they're starting to plane it down.
You know he did all this kind of stuff, didn't he?
This is Camille's mill. The guy is just loading some stuff up there. It's an old wreck of a thing he built himself over the years. Grounds all the parts. There's the logs going in. Up here behind the car here, there's all the logs that's waiting to go in. Smile out because you're on candid camera. You're real pretty. Yeah. You're a real pretty girl.
Smile.
Provincial law in Nova Scotia limits the kinds of
Show them your teeth.
transport youngsters to after-school activities. ATV's Janice Landry tonight introduces us to a
Yeah, that's better. That's a good smile. This is Lori. This is Peter's daughter.
Neighborhood children to after-school activities in their new 1996 4x4 truck because it's not considered an MPV. Multi-purpose.
That's the mama.
Vehicle.
Oh, the little one here.
and
6:45 in the morning. Pete's on the move. Phil was in the mood. He was just here a minute ago. Where'd he go? This is Pete's place here. This is the house of Amitty and Sam. Now Amitty lives on the left side, like right in half there. It looks like that telephone pole. I just happened to get in the right spot. Cuts the house in half. And the left side is Amitty. The right side was Sam. It's now, and later on in years, Felix lived there with, no, yeah. Felix lived there on the right-hand side, and Amitty on the left. After his death, Philip now occupies the left side, and the right side is being rented out. We're going to go up there, and this is the picture of Grampy's barn, Amitty. It's not in very good state of repair these days. I don't know, they don't use it anymore. I remember when it was really used. And this is my Uncle Philip, your great uncle. This is inside the barn, and you can't see too much anymore. But I remember when I was a kid, this was a pretty busy place. We used to have a big fork that was hooked up there, and it was the ropes and a hay fork that would come down to the load, and you'd pick up a load, and the horses would walk away from the barn, and with a bunch of pulleys, etc., would raise the hay to the top of the barn and slide along that rail you can see up there, over there, and it was tripped. There is the fork, for God's sake. It's still there. And you would trip the hay, and it would fall upstairs in the hay mow.
I got a woman now, too.
Yeah, the fork's still there. This is the old barn at the back. The wall here has gone out and all ripped apart. But there's the old stables where the cattle used to go, and they'd feed them in the stalls there. There's where the horses used to be kept, but it looks like you got either pigeon coops or something here now. But they're in a bad state of repair also. The horses used to go in through that door, and on the right there was the horse stables. This guy here didn't seem to like me. He came after me when I first came in, the sucker. He's on a chain, thank God. Yeah. He didn't like my coming around his territory. Rent the Felix's place here. Is raising goats. Chickens. I hear chickens in the background. They're over there by the barn. Whoop, there. And that's Felix's barn. Apparently when they were building the big house, that was a house and they were living in it while they were building the big house. This is the Fred LeBlanc's place. It doesn't look a lot like it did in the old days. I like to get a picture of the old, but this is Fred LeBlanc's place, my home where I was brought up. And it's got siding on it now. Used to have the old wooden shingles, same as the roof used to have old wooden shingles. Well, it's in pretty good state now. Jimmy and Teresa live in there, and they keep it up fairly good. Looks like Pete got himself stuck in the bush here. We're back on Pete's property where he's cutting wood, and it looks like he's got his tractor stuck. He's trying to twitch them logs out. He's hauling the logs out with the tractor, but I guess the logs won't come around the corner or something. There's a log Pete just dropped this morning. He has to paint his axes in red, all these tools you have to paint red so you can find them. Old age creeping on here. There's a trail he's cut through to haul his logs out. There's two more he's just hauling out. These are the ones he got stuck with. Yeah. So he cut them off at about 12 foot apiece, and I guess he'll be hauling them out like that. But this is the way logging should be done. You'll notice that other trees are left standing. You don't go in here and clear cut like with some people when they talk about west and such. Yeah, there's a pile of pulpwood he brought out. There's Uncle Phil going away, way down the road. And over here, there's Pete, offloading up there. That's the damn black fly on the edge of the thing. Yeah. No flies. Geez, they're heavy today. Here's cousin Edward. He's cutting across the road from Pete. From Pete. Here's our cousin. My cousin. He's a lumberjack these days. This is Mr. and Mrs. Beaver's establishment here. They don't seem to be home or they're not answering the doorbell. There's the beaver house. And they don't seem to be answering the doorbell at all today. Here we're looking at Digby Harbor here. That's the old dock where the St. John boat used to come in. The boats for the lumber right there. And the St. John boat used to come in over here. That comes out way out of town now. There's the harbor. Goes right on up. There's the ship here. This ship is up as sort of a tourist attraction. Yeah. Set up there so you can go in and look around. I think it's some sort of a museum. Fisherman's museum. Or museum. That's the word. Yeah. Something out in the middle of the water. There's the monument in the middle of town. There's a car. Scotia Bank and all that good stuff. That's the main drag there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you gotta be. This is Chris's girlfriend. Rachel, is it?
Rochelle.
Rochelle. That's close. Okay.
That's enough now.
Yep. Here's Pete's house. We got the picture of the inside there yesterday or the day before. This is outside. Right out here on the corner of Back Street and Sisaboo Road, I think it's called. Should be called Hard Digging Lane or LeBlanc Avenue. There's his new garage he's so proud of. Got his tractor ready. He's heading back in the bush to get a load of hardwood for firewood for the winter. This is Bonnie's place. This is Pete's daughter. And you'd enjoy it here. There's his little garage there, and her husband. And he buys, sells cars, fixes them, junks them, whatever has to be done. I guess he works for himself. Doesn't do anything else. He's got a car lot here. This is 2 doors up from Pete. All these cars are good fun. I don't think he likes me. He's barking at me there. What are you wagging his tail? He's a nice fella. He liked me the other day. Kids were here. Come here. Yeah. Yeah. He likes me. Yeah. Yeah. There's the laundry lady out there putting the laundry up.
What are you doing? I heard some talking there.
There's an apple tree there in Pete's backyard. And over here a little bit is, I don't know if you can see it very good, there's Pete's pet rock. That came out of his basement apparently when they dug the basement for his house. Big sucker. He's got a pretty big backyard here. Well, it'll be here a week and a half. Here's his wood pile for the winter. He ain't got enough there to take. He needs over 10 cords. There's a playground for the grandchildren. The backyard here. Next door neighbor. Back of the house, Pete's old truck here. I don't think that started work too good. Quit. There goes Pete off to the wars, heading back to get his load of wood. I don't know if these pictures come out Sunbury in that direction. There it goes. Said it takes them about 20 minutes, half an hour to get back there with that thing. I can understand that. What's that doing? Here's Gilbert's Cove. There's a lighthouse at Gilbert's Cove. Mom and I went out to see you last time we were down. That's the way out there. The sticks are out in the cove. And the water, of course. Tide is almost out. Here's the flats. Here's Doty's Brook, Doty's Crossing here, in the old meadow. Pete was having a battle with the beaver and he lost. Yeah. The beaver has won. He's got the meadow all flooded here.
Come on up there, he says.
Yeah. The beaver's up there. We're going to go up there and see if we can get a picture. Yeah, the beaver was up here going upstream here and we come up and now he's camera shy, I guess. He won't come around anymore. But one went downstream towards the bridge there. Still went up and he kept going. He went in here. But there's the meadow anyway. I'll get him right here. I can see him right here. Oh, you can't see him.
He's going back to the house. He's going back and get some more help.
Yeah.
That's what he's going back for more help.
Can't see. Finally caught your aunt. Cecile. You remember her. You saw her in Ontario. I'll get her husband later.
Oh, yeah?
Here we are at the cricket field. I'll get up there where that sign is and show you some of the pictures of it. Here's where the sign is. And this is the old sports field. It's changed a lot since I was a kid. This used to be the baseball diamond. It still is. However, it's upgraded somewhat. This hill I'm standing on used to go way out to about the bleachers, in front of the bleachers, and then the ball diamond was out plus that again. And up there used to be open field where we used to hold the July 1st celebrations. Now they have another baseball diamond up there. Probably softball, I believe. And there's what's called the old Scout Hall. That used to be quite the building. I thought it was, I don't know if this is a new one or not. The other one looked to be bad repaired. Kind of looks like they got concession booths sticking outside there. And then someone, I think, lives up top. There's a car there and a dog tied up front. And over there, and that, where that white rail is, in that area is where they used to have the horse pull. I think they might still do that in between these two rails. And there's a cement pad up there, I noticed while it's hung down. That too could probably be, so I don't know what that's for. And there's now tennis courts up by the road, which never used to be there. But this used to be the area where the July 1st celebrations were held and baseball played here and everything. And of course, after the evening hours, it was a place that the young ladies were courted. Here's a view from up by the Scout Hall of this island. There's where I was standing over there with those little steps there. I like to see the top of the tree. Here's the other diamond. And there's the Scout Hall. It looks like someone like living upstairs. You know, it's an apartment or something. A dog around the corner. And there's the entrance. There's said dog in the doghouse. He was barking at me when I get in there. Here's the entrance to the cricket field. And just to give you an idea of the distance, right around here to the right, that's the road heading home. At the top of that hill there is where Pete lives, just to the left of it. And right over here is Eddie's old house, or, yeah, Eddie's house up there. This used to be a hay field one time. There's Eddie's house up there. But now I guess Offham uses it as a wood storage area or something. That's his trailer, truck trailer. Oop, wrong way, I'll see. That's an old truck trailer for hauling wood. And now he's got it all into a wood lot. That's all firewood here. Yeah. Wood's big business around here. Always has been, I guess. Here comes a trucker. He's one of the trucks, the wood logs, wood trucks. And of course the flies are here too already. And there's the other two LeBlanc boys. This is 8:30 in the morning. Out doing their thing. I don't know actually what they're thinking. Here we got a couple of young fellas going to school. That's Bonnie's young fella there, and behind. Pete's daughter's son. They're off to school, 8:30 in the morning. He's hiding there behind that young fella. There he is.
We're going to be late for school.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
There's Bonnie's young fella, and his buddy there. For this guy to come down and look at our bridge. So Pete started to mow the lawn, and me, because I love work so much, I can sit here and watch it all day. This is the scow that takes the pulpwood over to St. John. It's about well, almost 3/4 loaded here. But we're at low tide right now, so we can't really get a good picture of it. It's down over the wharf. Once the tide comes up, she'll be way above it. So we'll probably get some later. She's almost loaded. That's the boom that loads it, and there's all the pulpwood on it. There, over in the distance there is the new highway, the bridge that goes across the river. This is taken from the Weymouth North Wharf. Bridge. Get in here, could it? Yeah. There's the scow. Here's the bridge again. From the end of the wharf. Get a better shot here, I think. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Something across the highway. That's the new 101 highway going to Yarmouth. The opposite shore. And I'm standing on the Weymouth North Wharf. This is where we used to go flounder fishing when we were kids. There's the mud flats where you get big clams. I noticed the other day when I was down there, there's footprints down there, and it looked like somebody had been digging clams. Maybe they are digging around here these days. There's the scow. We're up here on the bridge now that crosses the river. Bring her in here. There's where I was standing a few minutes ago down there on the wharf. There's the scow. The tide's pretty low right now. It's almost out. Sissable River starts here too, yeah. This is the mouth of the Sissable River. That goes right up through the town itself. Fucking look, oh, That's a molding plant. They make molding to go around the floor of stuff in houses. I used to be in open field. There was a lumber yard there one time. And there's the truck waiting to load the pulpit onto the scow. Well, here Lewis's mill house here now. There's the factory over there where they make the lumber. We've got a heat gone down to get us some hot heads, so we can go in and look around. That's all the chips coming out of there. I was in there the last time we were down. It's very interesting. See the operations, everything's all automated. This is the yard here. Here on Phil. Yeah. This is the Weymouth Church, where I used to go to church when I was a young fella. Got baptized there and all that stuff. That's the church hall. And so here, right around the church. There's the church. And there's church hall. We used to come here to dances and little stuff like that, parties. And they used to have the church bazaar and stuff like that. What?
Yes, it will.
Here's Peter's daughter, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's pissed off because she says her house is a mess.
That's right.
But do we really care?
Huh?
Do we really care?
I can't clean everything.
We're not here to clean or look at dirt.
She's on steroids, so that way there's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And here's hubby.
My allergies.
Is that right? What are you allergic to?
Grass.
This is the guy I was telling you about you'd enjoy working with, because he's got a garage down there and there's a whole bunch of old wrecks.
Yeah, you really enjoy it.
Look at me. Smile. Hey, fingers out of your face.
Get your coat out of your mouth.
No, look pretty. You look good there. You don't look pretty like that. This is going to my son now. He wants to see you.
Oh, good.
There's Bonnie's little one. Here's the garage you really like working in.
Come in and I'll show you. This makes sense.
Here's all these cars. Still showing off his van again to everybody. All the car lot here.
You breaking down or anything?
No. So here's Rodney's little playpen here.
Oh, yeah. When she kicks me out, come back here.
Yeah. There's his wrecker down there. Hand cranked, he say.
Yeah, it's an old rig.
You'd have a ball here.
Oh,
could
yeah. Oh, he enjoyed himself back here.
You could probably get your car going back here.
Yeah.
One last shot of Aunt Teresa.
And
She don't like
it was
cameras.
really nice. Like she
She's on the
massaged
phone
it
talking to
from
somebody
the
about
chest up.
cosmetics, and she doesn't really like cameras.
And it's very comfortable.
That's too bad. This is the view from Irene's kitchen window out across the bay.
The St. Mary's
The
bed.
St. Mary's Bay. Thermometer, -6.
I'm over here. Either way.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit.
There it is, in number 1 highway. 101.
I
About to start a game
myself
of dominoes. Haven't played dominoes since I was about 6 years old. Don't know how to play dominoes. Here's Aunt Irene again. We'll be leaving tomorrow, so I'll have to get these 4 go. There we go. This probably may be the last picture you see on here, unless we get some in the morning. We're supposed to go to Dutchville and take pictures of apple blossoms. This is Chris's garage, or Jimmy's garage. Not Dad's old house, but this is the garage Jimmy built. This is for these big rigs here. You probably have a lot of fun around here too. This is a lot of changes since I was a kid. This used to be all garden back in here. This the old cow barn. Now he's got it all dug up here in a parking lot or something. This is the back of the house where I was brought up. Right there where that tank is, there used to be a woodshed, so we used to have to fill that every year. The garden right there, that'd be a big garden. The doghouse back there now, the great big. Here is a apple orchard that's in bloom. The blooms are pretty well all gone now. We've come a little late.
Remember when Princess came over?
Yeah?
51?
Oh yeah?
Before she was queen?
Here's another orchard out in back of the house. And by the way, this house is where Mom's sister used to live. She's married to Uncle Emil Amiro back in Delseville. Oh. There's some raspberry bushes right out in back of the house here. Fellow could pour his cereal and go pick some fruit, put on it. This is the house that Mom's sister used to live at. Uncle Emil and Aunt, what the hell was her name? Yeah. Uncle Emil and Aunt Annie, I couldn't think of her name right off the hand. But the house has been purchased by another couple after Emil and Annie passed away, and it's smaller. They made it awful smaller, and they rebuilt the inside of it, so it's not the same at all. Here we are on the Dickey Ferry. They're just pulling anchor here or whatever. They're unhooking us. It's the half end or the back end of the ship. Now look out. We're heading out across the pond. Now we're leaving the dock. 140 days and they're going to be some pictures of the boat, the lounge. Gotcha. Guys just waving at me.
Nothing.
It's kind of dark in here, but other pictures have turned out pretty good. This is one deck down. No, it's all of this weird place. That's some weights. TV up there. A gift shop. Look at this. Next to the postman's office. There's a cafeteria out there. We'll have a look. In the cafeteria, ice cream stand and cafeteria. Anybody here? This is a sailor's view, 6 months of the year. glad you're in the Army? Every once in a while we get a good little tilt here, but not right now. It's pretty slow. I was trying to get a tilt because Mum will probably want to see this film. It's probably getting greener on the hills again.